All right. I guess we're back for episode 2, and I don't even know what to label it. I think honestly, I just looked it up. 30 views. I don't know how many people re-clicked or rewatched it or was just checking, but 30 views. It was my mess up. I forgot to turn comments on, so anybody that tried to comment, you can't.
I was going to ask you about that, but good you noticed.
That's me. Cause I looked, so anybody that could try, it's not there. If there anybody did, that's me. That's my fault. I looked up why. Cause I put it for kids. And apparently, if you make it label it for kids, it turns off comments for. So that was on me. Other than that, it's 30 views. I don't know how many were re-clicks or what, but I thought that was pretty decent for the first episode. For just really,
I do too.
For just, starting or shooting the shit, or there's really no, I guess.
Is the comments things changed now so people can comment?
I'm gonna need the login information afterwards because it signed me out and I didn't save it, so I'm gonna need the.
Okay.
I'm gonna turn them on.
Good, because I was going to ask you about that. I figured there was a reason.
No, that was my fault. I didn't even realize. I didn't realize that a certain setting turned it off. So no, I gotta turn them on.
Okay. So any of you guys want to throw out the first thing we're going to talk about?
Okay, well, probably I'll go with something very positive, something I'm excited about. Matty D got a ride this week.
Full time in the truck with Rackley War Racing.
I think that's one of our topics.
I like Matty D. He's got a good personality. He's talented. He finds a way to get 110% of wherever he's driving. He doesn't have any wins. I did look up his stats just out of curiosity.
He needs to go back to trucks and work his way back up. My opinion. He had his chances in the cup and he didn't perform. So he needs to go back down.
Yeah, but a lot of that was due to the equipment that he was in, and I like I said, I think he's got a lot of talent.
I do. I like him too.
Look what he did in the '95. When he was in the '95, Levine Racing, they were racing. I want to say Daytona, and he was running top 5, top 10s all night. And he got taken out by a mistake by Ron. I believe it was Ryan Newman went below the line and come back up and caused a big wreck. And but that whole night he had that '95 Toyota all the way up in the front, being competitive, being racy. So I think in the right equipment, even in Cup, I think he'd be up there. I think he's a top 10 driver. It just didn't happen for him this time around. I don't expect the next guy in the 21 to do any better than he did.
Oh, Harrison, I do. Harrison.
I do. I gotta.
He has his uncle and his cousins. He has a whole family behind him that can help, and his daddy. Yeah. So
Matty D didn't have much personal support.
No.
And I agree with you, Frank. I think he's got a lot of talent.
He got the personality to grab the sponsors, which I think is just he's got to get the equipment. Look at Kyle Larson. He could win in the 42 car, but he really didn't perform well. Look what he gets in Hendricks first year championship. It's all about the equipment. So,
but no, I'm very, very happy for me. That's one of the things on my list as well, is Matty D getting that full-time ride in the truck, and I think it's going to be a very, very positive thing for his career. A lot of people are going to look at that and say, well, that's a step way back. You're going back past Xfinity and into the trucks, but
it's a reset for him, and it's going to show if he performs, when he performs. I think it's going to show maybe next year to Xfinity, and then he might go back, in another year or two, back at the Cup.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree. I take nothing from the man. I just don't think he's had the support or the equipment that he's needed to excel. I think he may have been accelerated into the Cup Series a little bit too fast.
Which happens a lot.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's a lot of, in my opinion, lack of sponsorship and somebody willing to work for less, and
Right.
I think it's sponsorship and it's manufacturer, because Tony Stewart wanted to grab Kyle Larson, but Ford said no. They wanted Chase Briscoe. No, is it Briscoe?
Yeah, I think it's Briscoe. That's who's in
They
it
want to,
now.
they want to chase Briscoe because he's a Ford guy, and that's Ford's been putting money into him into the Xfinity. So it's a lot of factors. It's not just like Hendrick's choosing. It's there's a lot of factors of saying yes and no. So
When,
Oh,
when
no,
it comes to
absolutely.
that, I think the manufacturers are having too much say so on who the teams hire. I really think so. I think it that owners of the cars should be able to choose a driver whether they cross the manufacturer lines or not. I mean, if you can grab a talented driver, why not grab one?
I give you Kurt Busch.
Yeah, exactly.
The boys drove every single manufacturer
performed,
out there and
performed.
performed. So why?
Yeah.
I agree with you, Frank. Why should the manufacturer? But they do, and I get it.
I
But
mean, look, Mark. Mark did the same thing. Ford, Toyota, Chevy, and he performed in every one of them.
Yep.
The same thing go to any other driver. They want to swap if they get a chance to drive
Ryan
for
Newman's
good
another
team.
one.
Newman's another one, exactly.
yeah,
Tony Stewart.
Tony was
Yeah,
all,
but
he
he
was
only did-
Chevy and Pontiac. He never did Ford.
He's in Ford now.
Yeah, but he never drove.
yes, he
Yes,
did.
he did. Yes, he
Yeah,
did.
when Stewart Haas Racing, he was driving a Ford.
Was it when did they switch
Yeah.
when he was still driving
Yes.
them?
Yes.
I could be wrong, but I think he actually won his last championship in a Ford.
I don't.
His second. And again, I'd have to research that a little bit, but no, there's several of them that have done it, but I also understand the manufacturers have an awful lot of say so in who drives for them. And I think it's sad because I think the manufacturer should be happy to have a professional driver want to drive for them no matter what they've drove before.
Right.
I mean, Clint Boyer is another one that's drove Chevy, Ford, Toyota. Um, they're going to take the best ride they can get paid the best for, and their decisions probably, in my opinion, going to be skewed by who's performing the best at the time that they make that decision. Um, other than I can't remember the complete circumstances, but when Clint Boyer got parked in a no name ride in between his Michael Waltrip stint and going to Stewart Haas, I think he went from a Toyota to a Chevy that year. Was it the 95 or so? I mean, it was a no name ride.
Actually, I'm not remembering that, so I can't.
Oh yeah, he didn't go straight from Michael Waltrip over to
RCR.
Stewart Haas.
Oh,
No, he went to
Stewart
Stewart
Haas.
Haas.
Who?
Yeah.
Who?
Clint Boyer.
He went to the 55
Boyer.
Michael Waltrip.
Yeah, but in between that, he drove a no-name car just to fill in.
Yeah, he did. All right, we're pulling it up. Because I want to get this right. He and I know, was it the Levine family? Let me, and again, I hate to do the dead air thing, but we all know he started.
Levine.
I think it was
95 and Levine. For a
Is
while.
that what you're pulling up?
Yes.
Okay. Like I said, he did that for a year. I think he was kind of doing two things, just keeping himself on the track and trying to help out the Levine family. But there again, he went from Richard Childress in a Chevy to Michael Waltrip in a Toyota. Levine, I think that again was a Toyota, maybe a Ford. I could be wrong on that. Over to Stewart Haas, obviously driving Fords. So I guess the only point I'm making is the driver, as far as I'm concerned, makes all the difference in the world. It's not necessarily the manufacturer, although it does make a difference, but they're going to go where number one, they're going to get paid the most, but number two, because of the competitive spirit in them, where they're going to have the best shot to win races. So,
Just a little update. Tony Stewart never drove a Ford. His championship was Chevy.
A Chevy, yeah, 2000. I was looking at
2011.
2011.
It was a Chevy. They switched after because they
after he quit driving, they switched?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
That was
I'm good with that.
Danica and
You're
Harvick
right.
and
They
all them.
were driving Chevys with
Yeah,
Stewart or
yeah.
with Haas back then.
Afterwards.
Haas CNC.
Yeah. It was afterwards, and it's probably a money thing.
Oh, I'm sure it was. And while we're on the Stewart Haas thing, Ryan Preece.
Well, that was my next thing. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, that was my next. I was going to try to lead into it.
My life
Nope.
heard of anybody signing on as a reserve driver. What the hell is that?
They rather.
Okay,
I think they rather have somebody they know is good instead of scrambling last minute to get a driver. I
So
think
you're
that's
counting on
what.
somebody getting hurt.
What if somebody does, or they get sick because of COVID?
Yeah, right. That's what the main reason was in the article I read. Because of COVID, they've actually wanted to hire a relief driver. He will drive 12 races this season.
Yep.
In Stewart Haas related vehicles, not strictly for Stewart Haas, but like for their support teams or whatever. 7 trucks, 3 Xfinity, and 2 Cup.
Yep.
So
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw that as well, but
I think it's because
as a
of
professional
COVID.
that had a full-time ride.
Hey, he's probably getting paid regardless. It's kind of like being a backup quarterback.
Okay, you can pay me all you want. As far as I'm concerned, if I'm a race car driver, I want a wheel in my hand.
Oh,
I don't want to sit on the sidelines.
That's why I think he's doing the 12 races things. But that's 12
That
of 36. 36, you know what I'm saying? That's only a third of the year you're racing.
yeah.
No.
And he's going to be doing also testing on the for them on the simulators.
Yeah.
To help it.
He's
So
helping,
gonna be
like,
doing a lot-
he's helping R&D too. Like, he's behind the scenes
Right.
helping the drivers, probably giving them information that he's found out. So he may be a layup, but he's also helping the internals. And you know what? This might lead to when, let's say Eric gets fired because he's a hit and miss driver.
Oh no, talk about falling in my lap. He got a new crew chief.
Yep, that was I think everybody.
Drew Blickensderfer.
Yeah, from Michael
believe
McDowell's.
Drew
Yeah.
is a former championship winner.
I think I looked it up. Stuart Haas. Oh no, go ahead. I've got the other one who.
No, I think it was with Roush with Carl Edwards.
No, I know, but I was talking about he came from Michael McDowell, and McDowell's got a new crew chief who was in Ray Evernham front row and Joe Gibbs. So
yep,
I was kind of like trying to, I guess, segue into that, but yeah.
But congratulations to Bugaretz. He's going to performance director for Stewart Haas Racing, and they hired over Drew Blickensderfer to do for crew chief for Eric Almirola. Which I think is a great move. My opinion, Blickensderfer is, very familiar with Fords. He was with Roush Fenway for a very long time. Yep. He dropped back. I think he's coming from the Xfinity series, maybe the Truck series, to come back up to Cup.
Okay, I haven't been following him. I didn't do a lot of the crew chief. I read a couple crew chief stuff, but I didn't.
Yeah, no, that was kind of like a segue between two. Yeah, Michael McDowell lost his crew chief to Eric Almirola's. His went up into more of a bigger role into Stewart Haas, and then Michael McDowell got a new one from Blake Harris, who worked with Evernham Racing front row and because he's won championships with front row with I can't remember his name. Who won the championship?
Truex?
Yeah, Martin Truex. Yes, Krish. And he won with Joe Gibbs Racing. So, Michael McDowell is getting a good one, but that guy, he only good on super speedways. So.
Like Michael Waltrip.
Yeah, he get a little bit more experience, and plus that could be him too, because he doesn't have teammates, and he's a low end car and sponsorship, so that's another thing too. But yeah, that was kind of a good segue between all three of those things. That was all.
Okay.
That was all on mine. Also, let me mark those.
All right, Frank, what else you got, buddy?
Let's.
Well, we mentioned.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go. Go ahead.
Okay. Brian had mentioned the sponsorship thing where people swapping losing sponsors last week.
Yeah.
And I read an article this week that JR Motorsports is losing a sponsor. They're losing Pilot Flying J because Michael Arnett's retiring. And that they were only there because it's a family thing. So they haven't announced a new sponsor for Sam Myers at this point.
All right. Cool. I haven't
was a
read
big
that.
thing.
I didn't either.
That was a big thing for JR Motorsports. With Michael Arnett, Pilot and Flying J had put a lot of money into the program, and it was a big sponsor, a big and a consistent sponsor for him. And with Michael retiring out of the series, he's bringing his sponsorship with him. So Sam Myers right now looking for a sponsor for the one car, but I think that
was that next year or this year?
On that one, that's this year coming up, 22.
Ooh, wow, I didn't hear that. That's new.
I was gonna say I hadn't heard that also, but wow, that hurts.
Yeah, like I said, that's big money. That's why you see, cars get 2-3 sponsorships, and the next one is 2-3, 2-3, 2-3. I think Junior Motorsports posted an image on their Twitter. They showed all the paint schemes they had all last year, and it was huge. They had so many different paint schemes from so many different sponsors. It was like, wow, I didn't realize there's that many different sponsors they had last year.
Yeah, Junior is always put together. Even when he was racing full time, outside of AMP and that whole Pepsi umbrella, when he got down into the Xfinity, which I don't know if we covered this last week or not, but y'all know he is going to race Martinsville again.
In Xfinity?
Junior. Yeah.
Yeah. He does one and done. He wants Gordon to do it with him. I don't know if you knew that. He
that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, he wants.
I just heard it was announced that it was a definite deal for Junior to do it.
No, yeah, Junior. He's come out and said he wants Gordon to come out once a year and race with him.
That would be freaking awesome.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Well, all right. Now, perfect segue again, kid. Carl Edwards has said he wants to do a one-off in the next gen car at a road course.
I haven't heard
never
that. No, I didn't hear that.
Yes.
All right.
I would love Carl Edwards to do that. And I think, you know what? I think that's him putting his feelers out. And I would love it. Carl Edwards has always been one of my favorites. He's, he's for one, probably one of the realest guys out there. He says how it is. And that's why he left. He said, screw this. I'm I'm done.
He left because of his wife. The same reason Darrell Waltrip hung it up when he did. But he was on, I think it was Race Hub a couple of weeks ago, and they were querying him, as far as questioning him, how, if there was ever a shot, and he's like, man, I'd love to put up the video because it was really cool. He says, look, I am not interested in going back full time. I've got a family, blah, 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 on and on and on. But he says, I'm very interested or very intrigued with the new car. And he says, I would absolutely love to put together a deal to where I could race one time. And he said, I want it to be a road course.
He has his pick.
So,
there's a lot of road courses now, so he has his pick.
Yeah. But I thought that was cool.
No, yeah, I would actually enjoy that, but I think it can't be just a random. It would have to be a third car for Richard Childress, or maybe Roush throw out a third car. I
actually think Jack could throw down for that one.
I think he would too.
He probably would. I think Jack would actually sponsor if he had to.
Yeah,
I don't disagree. Joe Gibbs would probably do it as well, but I think might,
I think, like I said, he won't take just anybody to do it. I think he want quality equipment.
He'll take a top tier ride, even though it will be a one-off race.
He wants quality equipment.
And I want him,
He-
if he does do it, I want it to be a Sonoma or a Watkins Glen. I don't want it to be one of these new things. That where we're going right now. I want him to go old school and
I like
uh,
Coda. I like Roval. I like the Daytona road course. I actually
Roval. I can't stand.
I love it.
I can't stand Roval.
I was it
That
what was it
that's crap.
was it Roval where that the turtle came up last year? Which I forgot which one. One of them, the turtle came up and they cars.
Roval, you're talking about Charlotte,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Charlotte.
Yeah, I hate that track. I'm
Oh.
sorry. They might.
I enjoyed it. I completely enjoyed it, except for last year. I think it's the turtle came up and cars were
You know-
ramping. It was crazy.
I would watch the Rolex 24, and I would always question why the hell wouldn't NASCAR race on this track? You know, because I would see the racing on it was to me looked great, and I was waiting for NASCAR to make that call to try to run at Daytona. I really was because of the Rolex 24 and the way the cars performed on it.
See, I would like it much more at Daytona. As an individual that has been to Charlotte, actually inside the gates and looked around, you're trying real hard to make something happen that isn't natural. It's that is not a road course track. It is meant to be go fast, turn left.
Oh,
Um,
I disagree. I love the track. I love the racing it provides. Indianapolis. I don't like how they got rid of the Indy 500 for an Indy road course. I don't agree with that, but I do like the Indy road course. I like road course racing. I like how they have to
I
go.
like road course racing as well, but I guess I just don't like the concept of
Um,
turning historically great tracks into something they weren't. Again, I'm with you on the indie thing. I do kind of enjoy it, but they didn't need to make the Brickyard 400 go away.
No, I agree. They
No.
shouldn't have. No, that's a
Okay.
staple track. That's like a Daytona 500. That was always a pillar. That was
An icon. type
icon.
thing,
Yeah, that was a stamp on your stamp of approval type track. If you won there, you know that was holy shit, top tier. You know, no, I don't agree. They should have got rid of it. But that's who bought it. Penske. That's him. That's his call type thing. So that's on him.
Just my personal opinion, if we're going to go road racing, then it should be at road racing tracks. I don't think you should turn these ovals or quad ovals or whatever into road courses just to satisfy the hunger for more
Fans.
road track racing. You've got plenty of tracks throughout this country, and you can keep the Charlotte 600. You can keep the, you know, Brickyard 400. You can keep all these tracks and then go to other places. I Road America up in Wisconsin. I think that was a great move.
Well, isn't it Pikes Peak back in the day? Wasn't that a road course? It could be wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why
Yes.
can't we go back there?
Yes.
There's a lot of road courses that,
There's
And
road
I want
course
to
that
applaud
NASCAR hasn't visited yet.
yeah. And I want to applaud NASCAR for getting rid of a lot of these mile and a half cookie cutter BS twice visited tracks. Because, I mean, I was saying 15, 20 years ago, we don't need to be going to California twice a year. We don't need to be going to Michigan twice a year. We
No.
don't need to be going to Pocono twice a year.
Pocono is
we-
one of the boringest races we've had.
Oh, yeah.
I've
But we
never
need
seen
to
an
be-
exciting race at Pocono.
On the other hand, we need to be at Bristol twice a year, Martinsville.
They
those
don't-
kind of tracks.
They
twice
don't
a
need to
year.
do Pocono back to back either. Why the
Oh,
hell?
no.
That's just
All
stupid.
on the same weekend now.
Well, they're doing it back to back. Yeah, it's just dumb. It's just I understand they're trying to save money and going this, but just take it. Do one, race it once and be done with it.
And a lot of these mile and a half, 2 mile tracks that were previous, and now they have gone away from twice a year down to once a year. I think those are the tracks that should be in the chase. They never see them all year long. Let's see how good you really are. Homestead, California, Michigan. I want a few short tracks in there. I want a few road course races in there. I want a few
Well,
super speedways being Talladega and Daytona.
well, isn't it every 3 races? So have one type of every 3 races in each segment, because like the first 3 races have one, super speedway, then a short track, and then a road course, and then the eliminator, and then the next three goes, until the final one, which is always gonna be Homestead, but it shouldn't just be 3 tracks.
No, it's Phoenix now.
Oh yeah, whichever. But they need to.
And that's not a bad choice.
The way I see it, with the chase, again, like you said, my opinion, they should have the tracks in the chase should not have been raced in all year.
Well, it's gonna regardless if it's all year.
Big tracks in the chase that were not in the regular season.
Well, the racetrack's different between spring and the fall, so I can understand. And this year's gonna be anyway different, anyways, because new car. But I think the racetrack races differently from the spring to fall. So, but you don't want to race the summer. Let's say that they do Talladega in the summer and they do it again in the chase. That's just no reason for that. That one's always a crapshoot, anyways, because the big one happens.
Right. Restricted race. I mean, in my opinion, anybody can win a restricted plate race if you're in the right place at the right time and you got the right help.
I agree. A lot of people that's got their first.
Look at what was it? Front row racing. The teammates running back to back, and they come out of nowhere, and he won that race. Was it David Gilliland that did that? At one of the restricted plate tracks, they were racing, and when they had the tandem racing, where they had that set up for the tandem thing, and they come up the middle in the last lap or two and actually won the race, surprised everybody.
I'm trying to pull it out of my memory, but something like David Gill, and it doesn't surprise me at all.
I mean, they were like they were like I said, they just come out of nowhere. No one expected it, and up the middle.
I think his mic's fine. He just needs to not have it next to his mouth.
No,
yeah.
No, it's much better, dude. Whatever you just is much better.
He just stood back from his mic.
Yeah. Okay. It was echoing and shattering really bad, but that's okay. It's much better.
No, you was loud. I agreed, but like I said, I wasn't gonna say anything because it was still, you could hear it.
All right. Go back to what you were because I was concentrated on your. It was just breaking my ears. Try it one more time, Frank. What you said, the David Gilliland and
I'm thinking it was David. I'm trying to look it up. I'm thinking it was David Gilliland. They were as a third tier team. They were racing either Daytona or Talladega, and they come up the middle out of nowhere and just surprised everybody and won the race. I want to say it was the 38. I'm trying to bring it up. It was. In the late 90s, maybe somewhere in the mid 2000s.
Tandem racing was 2000s.
Yeah. The only one I remember coming up the middle at Talladega is Dale Sr. With 2 laps to go, he was in 18th spot and just drove it down the middle and won the race. I think Michael Waltrip was pushing him.
Kenny Wallace.
You're right. You are correct, sir. It was Kenny Wallace.
The only reason I remember that so well. Is I just watched the video about 3 weeks ago.
It was in the 55 square D car? Yep.
Okay, and my wife just informed me what my problem is. I am hard of hearing.
Oh, speaking too loud.
Right.
All right. No, you're good, man. All right.
I want to go back to what we started before we started recording is the Coliseum Clash. That's February 6th, which is in less than a month. The fact that they're turning the LA Coliseum, which I think it's a football field, they're turning it into a quarter-mile track. And they're spending millions of dollars to make this disposable track to race this Clash. It's all gonna be asphalt, and I don't know how big or how long the race is gonna be, but it's February 6th is when it's happening. I think it's pretty interesting. They're making a quarter-mile track, but why don't you just go out and build one instead of wasting millions of dollars on making a disposable track? There's gotta be, there's gotta be quarter-mile tracks out there to use. So why are you making because you want it in that facility? I don't know.
I guess, and I've seen something. I'm trying to find it.
It's all over their website.
What is this supposed to be like?
It's a Clash. It's the Busch Clash.
And they're not running it at Daytona. Why?
They wanted something different. They wanted an arena race. They're using it for an arena race.
Busch Light Clash.
And it's the Cup drivers?
Yep.
All right, I'm trying to find it, so I'm keeping talking here. So if I'm a team owner, I got to go to California on February 6th and do this, and then get all my shit back to Florida for the Daytona.
Yes.
Right.
And what does the Busch Clash win get you?
I don't remember.
I mean, I'm just
probably nothing. It's just
right.
It's pretty much, I think they want a real Wreckham location. They want to showcase the new car, the new sponsorship, this and that, in a new location in the West Coast, which probably their demographic's not really high. I'm assuming that's why they're doing all of this. They're trying to get a whole foothold of that. All
right, so I'm a team owner. I'm looking at the cost. All right, Busch Light Clash at the Coliseum. My question: what do I get out of this? What's it get? Does it get me pole position in the Daytona 500?
I'm trying to see. I don't know if there's a.
No.
I don't know if there's a prize or reward.
It was just a cash prize for the win and saying you won the race
on a new location.
It's like the Clash has been like an all-star race.
Exactly. The Busch Clash.
No points, no nothing, just a race.
See, historically, if I'm understanding this correctly, and I will stand to be corrected, the Busch Clash, which is basically a non-points paying race, $1 million to the winner, but it was always like the pole winners, the race winners from the previous calendar year or previous scheduled year all got together, and it was go for broke. Second place, you're the first loser. Is that what they're doing with this?
Right. Basically. Yeah.
All right, I don't care if I won 20 poles last year. I'm not playing. It's not worth it.
Trying to figure out.
I mean, even if $1 million for win, you've got a 1 in 20, 25 chance of winning. You're spending probably $2 to $3 million to go all the way across country. I mean, maybe I'm misunderstanding the thing, but I'd rather see a balls to the wall go for broke on the Daytona Speedway versus some dirt thing or whatever they're doing.
It's asphalt. It's going to be asphalt.
All right. Like I said, if I don't understand it, I guess I will stand corrected, but I think it's a bunch of crap. And they're probably pandering to an audience that really doesn't care. They'd rather see Priuses out there on the track anyway.
I was just trying to find if there's a reward. I don't know what the $1 million. I don't know what's the word for win.
Bragging rights.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out. All they have on their website's just like progress of it being.
That's what I'm looking at too, and I don't. There's another link. Let me see. Again, I honestly, I don't see the reason. Oh, here it is. Los Angeles is a trend-setting global metropolis. There it is. Get back in your woke blanket and go home.
Yeah, they're just.
As far as I'm concerned, I'm sorry, but that's.
Yeah, it's the. USC's football stadium they're converting into a racetrack. Which to me, honestly, I'd be pissed if I was a football player, college there, and
Yeah.
they're putting a track on my field, and who knows what type of damage could
Well,
do.
how are they going to do that asphalt? It's going to have to be dirt.
No, it's asphalt.
Asphalt.
Nope, they're putting asphalt over it, and then it's got to cure for 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah,
Again,
they're putting
waste time.
temporary barriers up, and it's pretty much they want to showcase the new car. Is my opinion. They're trying to get all eyes from the West Coast on it.
And they want to put it in a bull ring type environment,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
a.
You
It's,
can do something like that. Take it to Bristol. How about North
Right.
Wilkesboro?
yeah, that's what I was trying to remember is North Wilkesboro. I heard last year, I think Brad Keselowski's trying to buy it or did buy it, and he's trying to revive it.
Simply because I live in the area and there's a lot of local media on it. They are doing everything they can to get North Wilkesboro back up and running and be a NASCAR track again.
Yeah.
The county, Catawba County, I believe, is where North Wilkesboro is. But anyway, they received, not from the federal government, North Carolina government, I think it was $18+ million, which I know, and again, in this day and age, is probably not what it used to be. But they have received a big, big chunk of change just from North Carolina, not to mention all the private donations they have received. They are working their rear ends off trying to get this speedway back up and running and hopefully back on the NASCAR calendar. Again, just I know a lot of this because living here. They are trying like crazy. There's a lot of diehards, a lot of people that are putting in their own personal time and effort, volunteering. I know Dale Jr. is
Yeah, there's a lot of people in it.
yeah, that is heavily involved in this. And I've heard rumblings again through local media that when and if they get this thing accomplished to the point where either NASCAR accepts it or don't, they're moving on to Rockingham. They want to bring Rockingham back. And I believe me, if I had the time and the money, I would be right there with them. I mean, that's those two tracks are when I first started watching NASCAR, and God bless them is all I can say is, and they're doing things the right way. They're getting the money and like I said, I'm impressed with Junior being so involved, and he's doing it publicly, trying to get what he can done. I don't know what he's doing behind the scenes as far as the kind of dollars he may be personally throwing into it, whether it be him or a foundation or whatever. But like I said, locally, it's a big deal. It really is a big deal what they're trying to do with these two racetracks. And both of those racetracks are within an hour and a half of where I live. And so that's why I get, I hear about it quite a bit. And I just keep going, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
Right.
those are iconic tracks also. Been around forever and they just got rid of.
Well, those tracks are the kind of tracks, in my opinion, that take all of the talents involved in racing, whether it's the driver talent, the crew chief talent, the spotter. You've got so many people involved. It's not just like at Daytona or Talladega where you put it to the floor and go. Or even some of you've got to have people on all sides. You got to have that crew chief that knows what to do, when to do it. You've got to have that driver that knows what to call. Is like, hey man, I'm getting tight, I'm getting loose, I need this, I need that. You've got to have that spotter up top that says, look, dingling down the road, he may be 2 corners away from you, but he's running 3 seconds faster than you. Look what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? Those are the kind of tracks that made NASCAR what it is today, or was. and that's in my opinion what we, like Richmond and Bristol and Darlington and Dover and some of these, Brian even brought up Pikes Peak and stuff like that. Back when it wasn't just all in the driver's hand, or it wasn't just all in the crew chief's hand. I'm jacked. I mean, I've been pretty quiet about it up until now, but I really and truly just keep an eye and an ear to the ground, because there's some big things happening here in North Carolina with number one North Wilkesboro, but they've already made the noise that when they're done there, they're moving on down the road. And these are diehard folks that want their sport back. Hello.
Yeah.
you know? So, all right, I'm done with that.
Um, just want to say one thing real quick on something we talked about a while ago. It wasn't David Gilliland. It was David Reagan being pushed by David Gilliland in the 2013 Aaron's 499 on the last lap pass.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Gotcha.
And they came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Everyone was watching the other two teams. They just come right up the middle. I remember watching it. It was like, what?
I agree. I got another little blast from the past.
Okay.
Mr. Casey Kane. He's going to a full schedule with the World of Outlaws for the whole season of 2022.
I read that. I forgot to write that one. Yes.
I love it. I love it. Just wanted to point that out.
That's good. That's good for him. It is. That's good for him.
Oh, it's awesome. He's going to kill it when Kyle Larson doesn't show up.
I don't know. He may give Kyle a run for his money, man. It'd be good. I'd love to see that one on TV. I mean, they'd be there to watch it.
Yeah. I just thought it was really, really cool. He's kind of, what, a year, maybe two. He's just been totally silent.
Right.
No media, no anything, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, he announced that this week. So I thought that was really good.
Kind of. Well, you get more on that subject, or?
No, go ahead. I'll get it later. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, kind of a little segue over is, you know how we talked last week with Chase and Kyle, racing anything they can. Chili Bowl on Monday. They're both in the Chili Bowl, and Kyle won it last year, so I think it's kind of more of an update of what that they're racing and they can. Now they're both in the Chili Bowl, so I think I just looked it up. That starts tomorrow.
Isn't there like 13 or 14 NASCAR Cup drivers in the Chili Bowl?
I was trying to figure that out. I can't. I stopped writing. Wrong key. I don't know.
Hang on, I
didn't click on it.
I had this. Hang on a minute. I clicked off of it.
JJ Yaley's one of that I could upset.
36 Lucas. Kyle Larson. Keep going. Where are we at here? Maybe I'm on the wrong year. Is this?
I got the 22 entrants, 394 of them.
Oh God, that's gonna be some scrolling there.
Yeah, I didn't realize.
No, I saw. I think it was Tony that, because isn't it at his track? He posted there's like 10 or 11 Cup drivers that are actually gonna do this.
I don't know.
I'm trying to go through this real quick, not give dead air. All right, hang on. I'm gonna refill.
Right.
You got it?
I got something. All right. Here
It's
we
in
go.
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
All right. NASCAR Cup drivers entered the 22 Chili Bowl.
You
Christopher Bell,
filtered. Yes.
Alex Bowman,
Oh, really?
Chase Briscoe. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, Ryan Newman,
Ooh, he had no ride, so
Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
he's gonna crash.
Xfinity drivers driving in the Cup Bowl. Tanner Berryhill, Ryan Ellis, and then Truck Series drivers, Carson Hocevar, I can't Hocevar, Jesse Little. Those are the list of NASCAR drivers racing in the Chili Bowl.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
and that's tomorrow. Monday. It's tomorrow.
wow.
It's I don't know the time. I just had it scheduled. Tomorrow.
It says January 10 to 15,
Yeah, it's
2022.
it's
Starts tomorrow.
yeah. I don't know the time. Yeah, it starts tomorrow. It says 23 hours and 1 minute. So probably what 5 o'clock tomorrow night.
They must have several different races.
I'm pretty sure it's like a heat race type thing, and then the top 20 move
Right.
on to the next because there's
Well,
394
Kyle
drivers.
Larson won it
So
last year and in
the year
2020.
well, yeah. Guess who won the 3 before that?
Christopher Bell.
Correct. So that's why everybody's trying to push this Christopher Bell and Kyle Larson feud in NASCAR is because of that. Because they have history. Not including what has happened in NASCAR this past year. I think he spun him out or something. And he didn't intentionally do it, but yeah, that's why they're trying to make that more viable or make it something that's not. Even though they're really good friends. Even though I think when he did spin him out, Kyle did spin Christopher Bell. Christopher Bell was pretty mad. Didn't call him, didn't text him back, no nothing. So there was kind of a little heat there. But I understand reading. I forgot what race it was, but yeah. Where he spun him out.
Okay.
We don't have to really spend much time on this, but kind of go back to last week where Brandon Brown, Let's Go Brandon coin, where NASCAR denied it. He's still getting the sponsorship. You know that, right?
Behind the scenes. He's getting the money.
Yep. NASCAR can't stop a personal sponsorship, but they can stop a car sponsorship. So.
And they're gonna do all kinds of events.
Oh
at the
yeah.
track.
Oh yeah. They can't stop any of that shit. They can probably stop what's inside the track, but we've been to tracks. There's tons of shit going around the tracks. So I guarantee you, he's gonna get so much fans for this. So much.
And the LGB coin sales have increased like 25% in the last month.
Oh yeah.
They've gone up. Oh yeah, their sales have gone way up.
And I read something where the LGB company is working diligently to get him a full-time sponsor to put on his car. Yeah. But in the meantime, the crux of the story is he could go out there with just a plain old wrap and he's fine.
Yeah.
He's got all the money he needs.
Yeah, it's going to be there behind the scenes. It's still going to fund the car. It's just not going to be...
Yeah.
It's not going to be... Yeah.
NASCAR.
Yeah. I just looked it up. The LGB coin, from when it initiated, started in November 2021, which, I don't know if you know, backstory, they contacted NASCAR about this sponsorship back in November, and they denied it. They still did the whole thing the last 2 weeks ago. So, and that's why the NASCAR's kind of pissed, because they said no, even though they still went ahead with the car wrap and everything. And then obviously now behind the scenes, it's a personal sponsorship. And I just looked it up. It's up 59.5% for when it started in November. Even though it's not very, it's up 59%. So a little bit on that. We don't have to spend much time on it, but I thought it was pretty funny. It's a little FU to NASCAR for denying a sponsorship.
Oh, it is. Absolutely. Like I said.
Denying somebody's, livelihood. They got a sponsorship for the car. Why are you being mad? So.
Yeah. and like I said, he doesn't. He go out there with the aluminum skins, and he's fine because he's got all the money he needs to go to every race
Yeah.
for the whole year,
Yeah.
guaranteed. I think that's.
They updated it 2 years.
Oh, is it 2?
Yeah.
Yep.
Take that, Mike Helton, if you're still around. Something I want to bring up. It's probably going to get us into a bit of discussion.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Dale Jr. is going into the Hall of Fame this year
I don't agree with it.
with 0 wins or 0 championships. Excuse me.
I think he should be in it, but I don't think he should be in it now. You know what I'm saying? Now.
All right.
I'm not worried about the 0 championships, but I don't think he's been the no.
All right.
I
So
don't know
we're
if he
pretty.
deserves to be in it. The only reason Dale Jr. and I'm gonna piss a lot of people off to hear this. The only reason Dale Jr. is where he is now is his daddy's name.
Yes.
Hello. All right. Now,
yes, he's probably a top 10 driver. Is he among the best? By no means.
He got his daddy's sponsorship is his daddy's popularity, which kept him. Which honestly, he's the most popular driver for 18 years. And if it wasn't for
he's a good guy. I'm not saying he's not.
But
I want to limit this
driver accolades
to whether he deserves to be in the NASCAR Hall of Fame at this time.
No.
Now I want to throw some stats out to you. And you tell me if there's any other driver that would get put into the Hall of Fame with these stats. He's got 26 career wins. That's 20th on the all-time list. He has 149 top 5s. That's 19th on the all-time list. And he has led it looks like 8,195 laps. That is also 19th on the all-time list. Now, I'm not saying those are bad stats, okay?
Right.
What I'm saying is those are not, in my opinion, Hall of Fame stats. And I'm going to qualify this one step farther because I've been irritated by some other things as well, and this is probably going to get into you a little bit, Frank. I don't think any driver should be in the NASCAR Hall of Fame unless they have at least 1 championship.
I'm not going to agree with that. If they performed, okay? I mean, look, and you're right. I'm going to bring up Mark Martin right at the back. 6. Second place finishes in the series.
Okay.
I think it should
6
be
times.
Go ahead.
The only driver that's every time he's raced Pocono, he's never won Pocono, right? But he's the only driver with 5 or 6 second place finishes at Pocono. Okay, the guy. No, if they come out there on the track and they make their presence known and they race, okay, and they get the finishes, okay, no, they deserve to be there. Mark was robbed of 2 championships from NASCAR.
I'll give you the one. I will give you the one. And I know which one you're talking about. And I do give you that one. I'm just making a blanket statement. I think there's people that should be in the Hall of Fame, whether you're an engine building, a builder, Doug Yates. That guy should, you've got other people in their specific area of expertise, whether it's crew chiefs, spotters, engine builders, chassis builders. But to me, and again, I'm not knocking anybody down. I don't think, in my opinion, that and again, I like Dale Jr. I think he's a great broadcaster. I like him on TV, not as much as Clint Boyer. Clint Boyer is my new favorite. But if you compare Dale Jr. and his stats, they're mid-range at best. And what if he had to go the road of, say, a Michael McDowell or somebody of that where he didn't have the best equipment. He had the best at DEI. He had the best at Hendricks Motorsports. What if he had not been in that equipment? What if he had not had teammates at DEI like Michael Waltrip and his father, and even Steve Park to that
Mm-hmm.
end of things, that helped him a lot? What if he had not had Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon and Mark Martin as teammates at Hendrick Motorsports that helped him a bunch to get what? Again, I'm not saying he's a bad driver. I just don't think on this first round nomination that he should be there. And I agree with you, Frank, 100% that the only reason that he is getting in on the first round is because of his last name. Period.
Yes and no. I think it's not his accolades that are getting him into the Hall of Fame. I think it's his impact he had on NASCAR in the past 20 years as being as popular as he was to bring fans in. I think it's his impact more than his accolades that's bringing him in to be the Hall of Fame. I think I think that's what it really comes down to. Yes, I know he's not a top tier this, top tier that, but I believe it's just like Carl Edwards. He'll be in it at some point. He's never won a championship.
I don't know if Carl Edwards will.
Oh, I think so. They're going to do the same thing with Greg Biffle. Down the road.
All right. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I think inductees like this,
I don't agree it should be right now. Not at all.
Are watering down
the prestigeness.
Exactly. I just, may he belong in there someday? Sure.
Yes.
Absolutely. And I think it would be on the merits that you just stated of his impact on the sport.
Yeah.
All right. But then I can go into another part of it. Why was he so popular?
His dad, his name. Oh, agreed, 100%. It's that. But he kept it going.
If Dale Sr. had not met his demise, would Dale Jr. have been any more popular?
Yes, when he retired. When Senior retired, it would have transferred over. It just wouldn't have been so soon.
Right.
It would have gone. It's just like Chase, his Elliott. He rubbed from Bill and Junior.
But Chase is
yes, but Chase is good. Yeah,
Chase is performing.
Yeah, but before that, he was always popular. Even when he was 14 years old, everybody knew Chase was going to be good. I'm not disagreeing. It's just, if Chase didn't have that name, he'd still be good. But he also wouldn't have Bill behind the scenes. He wouldn't have.
All right, whoa! You just nailed it.
Yes, I know.
I
know.
Nailed it.
Regardless, but he wouldn't have the support behind him.
Chase would be where he is
without his name,
regardless of his last name. Would Dale Jr. be where he is, regardless of his last name? Answer honestly.
He'd just be another driver.
I don't know. Junior was really good in the Busch. I know he had good time.
He had what, 2 championships in the Busch Series?
But he couldn't perform in the Cup. He had wins, but he didn't. He really. I don't think if he didn't get hurt a couple times and he might have been a championship contender for a year or two. But no, I agree. I'm agreeing with you. I just think it's his accolades putting him in the Hall of Fame.
Look at that. When you said that about his 2 Xfinity Series championships, but there's other drivers that have done that. Ron Hornaday was a great truck driver, one of the best, hands down.
Couldn't do squat in the Cup.
Right. He also did pretty well in the Xfinity Series, but he couldn't do nothing in the Cup Series.
Ted Musgrave.
Very good. Another one. The guy rocked the Craftsman Truck Series. So I guess you can probably say Jeff Bodine.
Jeff Bodine was a force to be reckoned with in the '80s in the
Yeah,
Cup
back in the day,
Series.
yeah, that was
He was with
he
Petty and Senior and Wallace.
well, he put Hendrick
Um,
on the map, didn't he? Wasn't Jeff put Hendrick on the map?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think yeah.
yeah, Jeff Bodine got Hendrick's first win.
Yeah, that's what. If it wasn't for that win,
Yeah.
there would be no Hendricks. Yeah, I heard about that.
That was
Yeah.
at Martinsville.
I don't remember. I just
I
know
think
if
it was
that. I just know
Martinsville.
if
I
he
don't
didn't win
remember.
that race, Hendrick was hanging up the boots or hanging up the. He was done.
I just remember. I remember Jeff O'Dine being dominant and being a force to reckon with in the trucks, and
Yep.
he was. So
Well, Joe Nemechek's another one. You know, he's done great in trucks and Xfinity, but well, Bush at the time. And he held his own, but I don't. How many wins did he actually have? Uh, in Cup. I mean, I'm not gonna say he, and I'm not gonna look it up right now, but I'll tell you another guy that um I loved, and I just wanted him to win was Jimmy Spencer.
Oh.
Yeah. How can you not love Jimmy Spencer? The guy was great. He gave the best interviews.
Oh, he
The
did.
best person.
Everybody froze, and I was like, "Did my internet go out?" Yeah, I don't know what happened. So I
Yeah.
just
I don't know
said-
either. You're the one in sub-zero weather, not us.
It's probably. I don't know what's happening.
No, that was a good discussion, guys. And like I said, I want to make it plain as the more viewers and subscribers and all that we get. I'm not anti-Dale Jr. I am really not. I actually like the guy. Again, being from North Carolina or in North Carolina, he does a lot of good things that nobody ever knows about. He seems to be a really good husband. He's got a great wife. They're making a family, and I know he's great in the broadcast booth. I just want the Hall of Fame to be based on excellence and not reputation, not name recognition, not because of who you are. And again, Brian said it perfectly. If his last name wasn't Earnhardt, he probably wouldn't have half of what he's got. If Chase Elliott's name wasn't Elliott, I think he'd be almost exactly where he is right now. So, all right, I'm done with that.
How much time
Good
we got left?
good discussion,
Well,
guys.
We can
was.
do some more if you guys want. We're already well, it was an hour at the other one, but I only have a few more things I wanted to touch on if you guys want to or not.
Yep, go ahead.
NASCAR. Well, I want to do. Atlanta did its road test because it got repaved.
Right.
Drivers out there, especially Kurt Busch, he said it's really, really fast. But the president came out and said he wants the super speedway package ran on Atlanta. Restrictor plate. He wants the super speedway package ran on Atlanta.
I'd have to see.
Yeah,
some
no, yeah.
speeds
I don't. But they're saying it's
before I
fast. But he wants the super speedway package ran on it. And kind of a little segue over, and they came out, and I think it was this week, came out with the next gen rules package, 670 horsepower and a 4-inch wing. So they already came out with that for the cars. And then they're going to, tune it for research place before that. Or after.
As you've noticed, I've been very, very quiet on this next gen car because I want to see it on the track before I start being critical or complimentary. I don't know what to think. Other than the one lug nut, I've already talked about that. But other than that, I want to see what it does. I want to see how it performs before I start making any judgments on that.
We got talked about the next gen car last week, and I mentioned they're only allowed to buy parts from certain vendors. I happened to come across a vendors list today.
Okay.
RCR is going to be providing the nut.
For everybody?
Yep. RCR Manufacturing Solutions LLC, wheel nut. Roush Shakes Manufacturing is going to be providing anti-roll bars, shifters, trans-safe mounts, upright and wheel hubs. That's Roush H Manufacturing. Roush Advanced Composites are going to be providing the greenhouse, brake ducts, upright and rotor, front door crash panels, front wheel exhaust covers, package tray, roof hatch, roof flaps, and spoiler base. McLaren's providing the digital dash, and they got a handful of other things. But those three names kind of popped up and what caught my eye is Roush, RCR, and McLaren providing the things they're providing. And that's from the vendors list that I found.
Huh.
Has anyone told Joe Gibbs or Rick Hendrick about this?
Yeah.
I'm just asking.
I don't know. It's got the NASCAR stamp on it, being a NASCAR approved. And
why? All right, I'm gonna have to look into that a little bit more. But if I was Joe Gibbs or Rick Hendrick, I'd be knocking on somebody's door. Hey! Why do I gotta buy parts from Richard Childress for my cars? I'm not gonna be happy about that. But again, I don't know all the details.
Right. I mean, I never heard of RCR Manufacturing Solutions. So I'm not sure what all they build. Okay. So this may be something that they're an expertise in. They may provide the same product for like Formula One teams or Indy teams as well. Okay. So you're right. It's worth looking into. But if they provide this thing for another product for another entity, it may be actually a worthwhile deal. We know Roush H provides good engine parts. So the fact they're providing the roof flaps doesn't surprise me at all a bit because, they were, big in the thing with the safety before.
Sure.
So,
but I like I said, I don't care if I'm Rick Hendricks and you tell me I got to buy parts from Richard Childress. I'm like, oh hell no.
Well, if you don't know, the first next gen car was being collaborating and built with Richard Childress. They have the most information probably on that car from the inside out. They're the ones that built it from the ground up.
Give it to me. I'll make my own damn parts.
Yeah, give them. Yeah,
because as a car owner, the last thing I want to do is buy parts and put my confidence in my competition.
Yeah,
I'm just saying,
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm sure there's more to find out here, but just first blush, I'm like, oh hell no. All right.
On a smaller note, SS Greenlight Racing has formed a technical alliance with Stewart Haas Racing.
I saw that. That's cool.
Yeah.
There's a lot more alliances going. Isn't that dang it, I saw that earlier. Who is that drives with them? Greenlight Racing driver, hang on.
Yeah,
so SS Greenlight Racing.
You're gonna laugh. I can't read my own handwriting here, so I'm not sure.
No, I've got it right here. Joe Graff Jr. returned full time, and I'll be honest, I've never heard of him before, but it looks to me like it's might be an ARCA team.
Greenlight Racing has a cup team, or they had.
All right, well, yeah, Joe Graff. So anyway, yeah, you're gonna see more. In my opinion, you're gonna see more of these alliances. Like I said, I'd have to look into this a little deeper. I've never heard of Joe Graff, and I've never heard. I saw this earlier today. SS Greenlight Racing. I'd never heard of them, to be honest with you.
They've had a third. They have a third tier team, I think, in Cup or Xfinity for a while.
Okay.
Kind of segue. Colleague Racing announced their driver lineup, crew chief lineup, Cup and Xfinity.
Okay.
Xfinity series for the crew chief for Landon Castle. The number 10 is Jason Trinchier. The number 11, Daniel Hemrick, is Alex Jans. And the 16 of AJ Allmendinger, which I thought he was going to come up to the Cup full time, but he's not, is Bruce Schlicker. And for the Cup series, they're dual riding or 3 riding. Allmendinger, Hemrick, and Gregson. In the 16 car was Matt Swinderski. And in the 31, which I didn't even know they were even fielding 2 cars in the Cup Series, is Justin Haley, and his crew chief is Trent Owens. He's the only one that's going to be full-time. The other 16 cars, all 3 of them are going to drive in it. That was announced yesterday, the day before? Yesterday, actually.
Yeah, yesterday at 11:21 a.m. Allmendinger. I hate to see that because I think AJ deserves a lot better.
I agree too. I think that, I don't know. I don't know if I know he wants to. He did a lot last year. He was really fun to watch, interview wise and racing wise. And I don't know.
Yeah.
When he did race in the Cup, he was contending, even though he's a road course. I think they did most for the road courses, but he was always up there. But yeah, no, they
didn't he win the Xfinity?
No.
Was it him or no?
No, it was Austin Cindric won the Cup or Xfinity.
Okay.
But
yeah,
he was in the top 4, I think.
Okay. He might have been in the final 4. And that's why I remember.
He was final 4, I believe.
He's AJ Allmendinger, and back in a previous life when I was doing another show, I used to call him Nut Dick. Figure it out. He's gone through the school of hard knocks.
Yes, he has. He's been.
I believe he drove with Michael Waltrip Racing for a little while.
He was Penske number 2.
Yeah, he was. He's been around, and I don't know whether he just hasn't risen to the occasion or whether he hasn't had the support.
I think his history is still haunting him a little bit.
And that being,
can find the right chemistry. You're right, it's history. I agree.
Yeah,
but can find the right chemistry to get going. I mean, there's been a mixture of a lot of things.
I agree. I think he's got all the talent he needs. I just think he needs the right atmosphere, and
I think he proved that last year. He's got to build on it.
Yeah, in the Xfinity. That's why I'm really surprised to see him
still there. I agree.
Well, in this, and let's face it. I mean, driving with Daniel Hemrick and
Noah Gregson,
Justin Haley, and Landon Castle, that's not a bad lineup.
No,
it really. I mean, they're not top tier, but they're not bottom of the barrel either. It's just as long as I've known about AJ Allmendinger, you would think by now he would have, for whatever, and I'm not saying they're his fault, I'm not saying they're not, but you just think he would have been doing a lot better than now. And especially with the strong performance he had in the Busch or Xfinity series last year, that he would have been able to snag something better than this.
I think he's trying to build colleagues. He don't want to leave it. I think he wants to be a pillar in that program and just work his way up, which I just don't understand why he's not a Cup. That's my biggest thing. Why is he being stuck to Xfinity instead of?
They got Leaf Fielder.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
That was something that came out at pretty much all the news that's came out. I looked yesterday and today, nothing really came out last couple.
One thing, you may have touched on it earlier. I don't remember. I'm still really surprised with, and after this, unless you guys got something else, I'm pretty much done. But Ryan Newman, what the hell? Why can't he find a ride?
Well,
I read a story where supposedly Keselowski offered him a part-time role, I guess, in something like what Ryan Preece is doing at Stewart-Haas, and he turned it down. And I want to give him a pat on the back if that's the case.
No, he wants a full-time ride, and he literally said He literally said last year, he's like, I'm not retiring. I don't have a ride.
Right. And he doesn't want a part-time ride. You know, Kalowski and Roush offered him a part-time ride at Roush Racing in the Ford.
Yeah.
He didn't want it.
He wants a full time.
He wants to compete full-time. And he's still at the age where he's still competitive. And he's got the talent for it. He just needs the right car.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and make a wild prediction. Ryan Newman will have a full-time ride by Daytona.
That's wild.
Somebody's going to put him in a car. I just cannot believe a man of that caliber and experience and knowledge.
It could be a Matt Kenseth type thing where he's requiring too much money in a contract. I don't know.
Dude is an engineer with a Purdue degree. He don't have to do this if he doesn't wanna. He's not gonna eat ramen noodles the rest of his life.
No. He's also made his mark in the safety on the safety side of this in NASCAR as well.
Oh, he's the single reason the wing got taken away.
Yeah.
Which we all thought was a bad idea, but no, I'm gonna go out. I will say that I don't know where, and it may be a second tier ride, but I think he's gonna have a full-time gig by the time we get to Daytona somewhere. Because he's just too good not to, and there's too many. If you look at the chart, where's it at? The team chart. Right. There are a couple of wheels out there that don't have full-time drivers, and they've got their charter. I think Ryan Newman could attract a full-time sponsor if he gets a full-time ride.
Oh, he has. Yeah, he could easily. He has a lot of connections. Years.
Get down to the bottom here. Let me make sure. Because I had this up. Teams that will not compete. There's the 96, the Gaunt Brothers Racing. I'm not sure that means. 66. These are guys that have got the charter. So all they got to do is get the funding and the driver, and I think Ryan Newman might, he may not like going into one of these teams, but I'll bet they could align. Like I said, he's got the connections, the experience. I cannot believe if Ryan Newman wants to race, that somehow he won't make something happen before Daytona.
Right. We'll see.
All right. Guys, I'm done. I think this was great. We had a couple of really good in-depth discussions here.
Right.
You gonna turn on the comments so we can hear from the masses?
Yeah. If don't leave, I wanna ask something before off recording.
Okay.
Don't leave. So let me do the music thing, end it, and then I'll ask.
Gotcha.
In a second.